All aboard!
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to Cannabis Karaoke, where we ask you to grab the mic and tell your story. Get inside info from today's most interesting cannabis pioneers, and from the first note to the end of the song, listen up as you get to hear the stories of success on Cannabis Karaoke. All right, we are now back with Cannabis Karaoke. Took a little break for a couple weeks. You won't know the difference because we'll continue to keep putting different podcasts out, and you just won't even know. But I took a couple of weeks off. I went to Indonesia. That's another topic we'll talk about later. But we just actually finished an event in Cannabis Club TV headquarters, and my good buddy who decided to hang back and, burn a couple hash bones, Carl Sailing, CEO of the Hollister Cannabis Company. He has a couple different brands, but one of his brands is one of the products that he produces that I feel is like everybody should smoke one. Everybody should smoke a hash bone at one point or another.
Definitely.
But thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for coming down. You're in Hollister, Santa Cruz, about an hour away from each other, but a big mountain range in the middle. It's kind of a painful, fucked up ride to try to take either way. But we do get to hang out occasionally. Not often in our own hometowns.
No.
Usually in some other part of the country. And you decided to hang back into the podcast, and I appreciate that. So welcome to the show, and let's talk about some shit in the cannabis space.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks for that introduction, man. That's awesome.
You're the man, dude, by the way. You're one of the people that I really, really, and this is genuine. This isn't bullshit. This isn't bootlicking. This isn't me like...
I'm going to slide you to $5 later.
Yeah, nah, dude. It's like, I really believe that in this nowadays, if you really have like an affection for somebody, or I don't know if that's the right word, but you should let them know. And like, I fucking watch what you're doing. I watch how you're doing it. Fucking really impressive, dude, because I want to talk a little bit of how hard it is to do business out of Hollister, but like just in general, this space and like how hard it is.
Yeah.
You're fucking killing it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That makes me feel very good. I mean, it's awesome.
But you're a great person. That's why.
Thank you. But yeah, you know what? It is sort of a fucked up industry. And it's a super fucking hard grind. If you think you've ever, done something that's been hard as far as a business, maybe times it by 10 or something.
Yeah. At least by 10.
At least, right? Yeah. And then, I mean, it's not puppy dogs and rainbows. But there is a but, right?
Yeah.
It is still fucking amazing that we're in the cannabis industry.
Dude, I have to remind myself all the time, it's crazy because, we went so many years being underground and just, smoking weed where we could and like whiffing it away and whatever. And now we're like smoking joints walking down Las Vegas Boulevard. It is great. It's like the epiphany of when you get what you ask for. I feel like we're like, fucking A, one day it's going to be legal, man. One day we're going to be able to do this shit. One day. And now we're here in that one day and we're like, oh, holy fuck, this thing's out of control.
Yeah. Wait. Not to interrupt. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But when Prop 64 passed, I went out in the middle of the street and smoked a joint in celebration.
Sure.
Even though it's not what everybody wants.
Right.
It's not the end all be all.
No.
But it's still fucking amazing.
People, and maybe that's a great place to start. Like people, it's coming when you're bringing something into regulation that's been in the black market for probably close to 100 years. Like it's just been underground and you're bringing it to market. There's always those people that want to fight that progress. And it's not perfect. Like Prop 64 by far and away was not perfect. And by far and away, we've got to do way more work on reducing taxation and just the confusing process that exists around the cannabis space. But we kind of need it. We kind of need this regulation. We kind of need to bring things out in the open for it to become normalized, right? We got to have progress. Like how does a brand navigate? Like the last 2 years were kind of gnarly. How did you navigate that? And like, what are you seeing right now, like happening in the space? I mean, there's kind of a trend going on right now in cannabis.
Well, it's moving fast. There's consolidation. brands. There's several brands that are getting larger.
Yeah.
So you're getting these very large brands now, that are commanding decent percentages of the marketplace. But still within that, there lies opportunity. As more and more dispensaries come online, there'll be more opportunity for brands to get into the market.
And when you were specifically, because Hashbone wasn't your first go out,
No.
right? It was Mighty Meds. Is that the first? I mean,
No. So I acquired Mighty Meds from the original creators.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
At the end of 2017.
Which is a vape company.
Which was an old school vape company.
And
from
we'll talk
San
about
Diego.
vaping a little bit as well.
Old school company from San Diego. A little backstory on that. So, excuse me.
That's fine.
I started a delivery service back in San Diego.
One of the where they would shoot you for that shit, probably.
Yeah, no. And Mighty Meds was my first vape cart that I tried, because back then, this is in the early days of vape carts. It was Open.
Yeah, I remember Open. Are they still around?
I think in other states, yeah. I think they're a pretty big company, but their vape was fucking propylene glycol and 25-30% THC, and everybody was going crazy.
Yeah, because it was a new way to smoke weed.
Totally. It was blowing up. And then along came Mighty Meds, and this is in San Diego, and they came out with a kick-ass strong cart. It was like 70% and just crushed it.
Still propylene glycol?
No, they weren't using any of that shit.
Because I think that's right about the time people started using cold processing, or instead of heating it up and doing BHO, they were doing.
I think they were using CO2 or something.
CO2, yeah, CO2.
Yeah, because really the popularity of ethanol hadn't come on yet.
Yeah.
People were really. This was way before distillate too.
Yeah, that's another whole topic. But the ethanol component, people were always like, "Oh, ethanol's bad," but actually it burns off cleaner.
Yeah.
Than the other stuff that we were doing. So Mighty Meds, you acquired them.
Yeah, acquired them in 2017 and launched them again in San Diego, and grew a little bit. But as the market matured, the vape business right now it's a knife fight out there. So
there's quite a few, and then let's.
Well, I mean, it's one of the lowest barriers of entry from producing a product.
Sure. Because you really don't have to. Really, your only goal is taste, which you can artificially terp, and THC quantity or percentage.
I mean, liters are readily available of distillate.
Yeah,
I get an email every day. I mean,
so then you're in a knife fight with this oil.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what?
And that was what you did that for about a year, you think?
Yeah.
And you still own Mighty Meds, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just hanging out.
Especially in this environment right now with vape.
Yeah, I'm actually happy that I'm not I'm not really in vape at all.
Yeah, let's.
The only vape that I do is we are a filling partner for the Hanu Stone, which I'm very proud to say that we are.
But when you say that's a different consumption product too. That's
totally
not using
different
the same
consumption,
501
and
cart.
it's under our Hollister Cannabis Co brand. It's not under the Mighty Meds brand.
Right.
I'm pretty much kind of Mighty Meds is going to hang out for a while.
We got to see what shakes out in vape.
Yeah, exactly. They may get a polish and come back as something else.
Do you think that? So, and this affects the Hanu Stone too. And we really haven't had this topic discussed yet because it's still fairly new.
Yeah.
But what is gonna the market is up until this vaping disaster, I guess you could say, because of the black market.
VapeGate.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Vape fuck, because the regulation is instead of making it easier to be a vape company and putting them under tighter regulations and restrictions, they're just going to stop, no more vaping. It's this is going to backfire. But you got companies that are all in on vape, and vape was outpacing flower for the last 3 quarters per headset. We just had the relationship with right tonight. Now all of a sudden, let's just name off some cart companies: Select,
Absolute extracts.
Orchid.
Yeah, Orchid. No, but you know what?
Orchid's got flower though.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. No, Orchid. Orchid will diversify.
Sure.
They just had a press release that they broke ground on some big, huge cultivation facilities. So they're going to do fine.
Doses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but yeah,
I mean, brass knuckles,
yeah.
heavy hitters. Like all those dudes are doing tens of thousands of carts.
Oh, huge.
And the
Huge
funny
amounts.
thing is that the whole vape debacle that's taking place doesn't even really reflect back into our industry. It's all primarily black market.
Well, that's what's fucked
carts.
up. So, like, I speaking of getting emails, like, I get messages on Instagram, fucking from people in China selling those Mario carts and
Yeah.
Zero carts and Dank carts and even brass knuckle carts. So
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. You know, it's like, so it's
And
easy.
so what's the solution for that though? Consumer education, number one, but
Totally.
I think number two is don't allow that black market to exist.
No.
And that's on the state.
That, and then also
I mean, right?
some sort of way to protect the packaging, you know? And
Well, they did come out, didn't they? I saw something from the Bureau came out that they were making these hologram style stickers that like once they've like been compromised, like they change colors or something. But
really,
the fact of the matter is, it's like
is that going to be for every product though?
But yeah, and that so then now we've got to buy a 2-cent sticker on top of all the other taxes that we're paying. But my point is like, why instead of trying to enforce more tracking devices, which I think we should definitely increase the tracking capability, but at the same time, let's like, I don't even think it's a taxation thing. It really comes down to taxation and the legalities of that, right? So if there was a different tax structure for vape specifically, because it's the most exploited from what you just said, you get emails. Does that work? Like, do you like give an incentive in the industry to be a vape company but do it legit so that you don't lose that category? It's $1 billion category.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I don't know. Really. It's pretty complicated.
It really is.
And I'm sure there's tons of meetings in a bunch of boardrooms right now.
Could you imagine?
Oh, man.
So let's talk about Hashbone.
Yeah, Hashbone. Yes. My favorite.
What a great pivot.
Yes.
Like, I see a lot of people, like, do you know Patrick King, the guy that does Soil King up in the North Coast?
Yeah.
So he went on a
super
rant the other day about the vape situation, and his whole thing was just roll a fucking joint. Dude.
Yeah, man. No, you know what? Like, the data from today, where Jocelyn was talking about how the decline in vape sales, it's like
Instantaneous.
like 5% already.
Yeah.
But the actual sales didn't decline. Well, that went to pre-rolls.
Right.
It went to somewhere else. It went to gummies. It went to flour. But and it should definitely go to Hashbone.
Well, I think that, but to that point, I think that the benefit that we have from the way testing is gone.
Dude, don't get me fucking started on testing. Oh my gosh.
But flour, at least, we know is not gonna. It's like the cleanest way to consume. Cleanest way to consume.
Yes.
Right. So, when you say you don't want to talk about testing, why?
I've got a group on Facebook that bitch about it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. So I mean.
And what's fucked up about it? Is it because it's so like rigorous, or is it?
Well, I mean, no. I mean that from being. Coming from the place that I come from in this business,
yeah,
I love that it's tested that rigorous.
Sure,
that's amazing. And
is it the cost that it's associated with it that's a bummer, or?
Well, that's definitely part of it because it's very expensive. It's about $700, between $600 to $750, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah,
per test per COA, but you've also tested it beforehand.
Yep.
So.
So explain that, because I don't think, there's this humongous pushback right now for the $50 eighth in the dispensary. Like, people are claiming highway robbery. Like, people want to buy $25 eighths, $35 eighths. Explain to the customer right now why the taxation plays a bigger role in the cost or the end retail price than the actual product does, or the branding of the product. It's the most onerous component.
Well, there's several components that are onerous. There's the packaging component.
Yeah.
It's way over packaged.
Yeah.
We're generating all this
Waste. Yeah.
And we're looking for ways to be more, eco-friendly. And
Well, especially coming from the cannabis space, we're supposed to be
exactly, but
more
but
earthy.
Like we've instantly tripled the amount of packaging we're generating.
And it's all toxic stuff.
Yeah. Then there's there's taxes on when it's grown. So there's cultivation tax.
Right. Which is usually how much?
So if you're buying
3%?
trim, it's like $44 a pound or something.
Okay.
And then there's, which
used to get trimmed for $40 a pound.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, it's going. I'm seeing it. I'm hearing people $180 a pound
for trim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do people even? I'm just
not including the tax.
I know people just straight go uglies now and don't even try to go trim for oil. They just go straight bud, and just buy boxes of it so that they can get it as cheap as possible. But so you got cultivation tax.
Yeah. Cultivation tax, and then there's the excise tax when it's sold
to the distributor.
The distributor is responsible for paying the excise tax, but the distributor collects that from the retailer,
right?
From the dispensary, and then the dispensary charges the end consumer,
right? How much is that?
Plus other local taxes.
Right. We'll get there. But how much is that excise tax? Tax?
The way we do it's I think it's 24% of the wholesale value. So there's a market percentage that just
right. So like
there's a whole formula on the state website that you can look up, and it gives you
we're trying to give people like the Reader's Digest version. So if you want to go actually calculate and put in real numbers, go to the state's website. But what I'm trying to do is just paint the picture of let's say 40% of the cost is borne in taxes.
But then there's testing.
Right.
So when we make a product, we purchase different pieces of it. So we have farms that we contract with that grow our flower and our smalls and products that we use. And so when we bring that into our facility, we test it. We can't work on anything that's not tested.
Sure.
So we immediately quarantine it, and then we run a full
How long does it sit in quarantine?
It depends on the turnaround time of the lab. So that's kind of...
And they'll tell you that it's a 24-hour turn.
No.
5 days usually minimum?
The lab that we're using now, it's about 3 or 4 days,
that's
which
solid.
is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I've had 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea.
And then that weed's just sitting in quarantine.
Well, it was a product,
Yeah.
It was a bunch of, stuff that we had to get out. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy stuff.
Yeah. And so now you have taxes, you have testing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the end consumer be the one that's pissed off? Because they're the ones that's wearing all these things. They just get passed along. It does crunch it does cause a crunch on the whole, what you buy. Let's just do a little Wayback Machine. 4 years ago, pound to indoor.
3,000
today.
Well, right now,
let's throw that out because right now there's a crunch.
Yeah.
There's another shortage.
But before the crunch, someone was like $900,000 for indoor from a company that was like, I'm not going to name the name, but craft company. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't.
It's such a swinging commodity when it comes to the cost of a pound in this space right now. And again, this is California, because outside of California, people are still getting $2,000-$3,000 a pound.
Well, I just saw somebody emailed me and wanted $1,980 a pound for indoor.
What's the $80 for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just make it $2,000 or make it $1,900, but
no.
Don't do $1,980. That's
you should do $1,999.
That's just unbelievable. At 99 cents. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much the legalization and the regulation of cannabis has actually and that's been the the reflection of the taxation, because otherwise, because consumers have set this arbitrary number of what they're okay with paying, frankly, you should be paying $75 an eighth. You should be paying more. Think about it in wine cases. Like, you go buy a nice bottle of wine, you pay 60, 70, $80 for that bottle of wine. If you don't want to pay that, you go buy $2 Chuck.
$2 Chuck.
Or box wine,
Box wine.
And so for whatever reason, people want to get the chronic for the same price they're paying to get the, what we would consider like earn out weed, like, just people's really bad homegrown or whatever that's getting $20 a pound. Making a pre-roll like a hash bone, right?
Yeah.
How do you, what's like that? I know what it takes. Like, people, it comes down to 2 cents, like on some of these things, to be able to make them cost effective. Like, that thing's a powerful product. Like, how do you build that and get it to market? And what does that thing sell for on the shelf? Average.
I think on average it's about a $15 to $16
Amazing
product.
$15 product.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like to have products that are priced, valued, not like bottom of the market and not top of the market, kind of middle upper, So, and I mean that's a good price, especially for a bubble hash infused pre-roll.
Yeah.
So we make bubble hash, which is, old school, super clean, no solvent ever. And when you blend that with flour, it just makes this amazing.
Yeah, it's like putting a little on top.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such a great enhancer. It enhances the terpene profile. It enhances the potency, but it's not, it's like a clean high. It's totally different, right?
I love hash.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like that's kind of everybody's
it's a different,
response.
It's more of a heady high than the quick punch of smoking a joint. It's like it lasts a little longer than what, just like smoking a normal joint. But that shit's expensive, dude. That's not cheap to do.
No, it's not.
So how are you?
Hash is labor intensive.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And sometimes it's not always, doesn't always come out the way you want it to. You gotta get good at it, but it's still like you have moments, right?
Yeah.
So like what inspired you to go that route in the land of pre-rolls and the land of cones out there? Like, you've got the tarantulas and you've got like all these other things out there. I think it's brilliant because it's a lot of people do cones. A lot of people do. And what size is a hash bone? Gram and a quarter?
The current hash bone is a gram.
Gram.
Yeah.
So
25% bubble hash, 75% flour.
Nice. Okay, so when you look at the market, and then we'll talk about this too, we'll pivot to the 1-to-1 CBD in a minute, unless you don't want to talk about it. But how do you identify what kind of category you put out, or like what you put into a product? How do you determine that? Like, you saw Mighty Meds, you wanted to buy it. You probably had premonition on where the vape market was going. Good for you.
Maybe subconsciously, somebody was looking out for me and said, "Hey, don't really go too hard on that one."
Right, and so you pivoted to the hash bone.
Well, the hash bone's about a year old now, and
well, I should say pivoted, but you created it.
Yeah. Actually, the goal of the company is to be a little bit broad on our product selection. So that way, we're able to be a little bit more nimble with market shifts and moves. And
but you stayed pretty focused on the hash bone.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Totally. So while you're expanding category broad, like on the broad scale, like, but you're within hash bone, you like stayed focused on that product.
Yes.
And you just hammered it home.
And we're gonna keep hammering and driving that harder. The goal for the hash bone is to be the #1 infused pre-roll in California.
And headset can help you know that stuff.
Definitely.
That's what was cool about tonight's meeting. Yeah. So when you first brought that to market, what were people's response? Because it's not very common. There's, like I said, there's other people that are doing infused joints, but
and there are a couple other people doing bubble hash infused joints as well, but there's not many.
Right.
So it's pretty unique. People's reaction have been awesome. I mean, I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, that hash bone sucked," or
"No,
I didn't like it." I mean, It's got great reviews. It smokes really well. You know, a lot of the infused joints, especially the ones that are coated with shit on the outside, you know, they've run.
Right.
You know, and they don't burn well. So the way that we process our flower, you know, we take out all the stems. There's no fucking stems at all. You should see, like, I like to say that we throw out what a lot of people just grind the fuck up
Sure.
and roll.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's horrible. So, you know, we have a different standard, and it's super important, you know, to put out an amazing product. So, and my partner and my wife, Amasa, you know, she's the VP of production, and she actually is the one that's making sure that the products get made, that they're made, you know, to our standards. You know, she's there every day running a cruise, which is pretty amazing. You know, and it's cool working with your wife.
And that is rad. She is very rad. She's one of my favorite people, like you are, because you guys just are so grounded in doing such killer stuff, but like at the same time, not really just down to earth. You know what I mean? How many stores has Hashbone in now?
Well, from a product standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, we're in, like, we sold into this year, I want to say 150.
That's pretty good.
Something like that.
That's like almost 40% of the market.
Yeah. So the goal is to be in
Can you imagine when
300.
Can you imagine when there's
by the
like
end of this year.
4,000 dispensaries? Like they're saying
Yeah.
by the mid next year it'll be 2,100 dispensaries by mid next year. Are you hearing anything like that, or?
No, but that excites
I
me.
mean, we're already at 800.
That excites me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it levels the playing field a little bit.
Totally. I mean, the Hall of Flowers was amazing, right?
Dude.
But how many fucking brands are there? I'm like, holy shit, look at all
But
these
I
brands.
felt like that was I don't know, I hate to be cheesy, but it was like a mecca kind of. There was just an energy that was flowing there that was really good.
Yeah.
And people were getting work done, and there wasn't a lot of weird BS. And there was after party. The after party at the Flamingo is popping. You know, there was
crazy.
thousands of people there.
Way too many people.
I felt a little claustrophobic. I smoked a hash bone, grabbed it in the middle. Advice: don't grab the hash bone in the middle.
No, that was a reacher.
Oh, was it? Oh, wait.
That was the R&D Megabone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Megabone.
Yeah, so you grabbed it. It had distillate on the outside with
Oh, but that thing was like eating the best donut in the world when you're smoking that. You know, just tastes so good, and
teeth.
like
Awesome.
like I said, it's just a different high when you smoke those things. It's like a little more full body, and the Hall of Flowers was a good show, man. I think it's because those guys they keep everything fairly uniform.
Yeah.
Like you're with Indus, right? And so it's like you guys have a whole.
Yeah, Indus gets the whole row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second.
It's like if it's Monopoly.
Second season.
If I'm going to say if it's Monopoly, it's like the Illinois Avenue to Marvin Gardens. It's like the reds and the yellows. It's not boardwalk property.
No.
Doesn't need to be.
No.
But it's like right where you're like always passing that corner. It's like right after free parking. There you go, right into Indus. But it kind of just levels. I feel like the way they lay it out, it's like it really benefits the brand. The brand doesn't have to do much besides sell itself and like have whatever collateral it needs. It doesn't have to think of the actual layout of the booth. You can be open, you can have glass cases, you could have it on the wall, but everybody pretty much has kind of a similar look.
Yeah, the main shell.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was nothing that could be up higher than that shell.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I can see over the entire show.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
I think that was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like their second or third show.
That's the third season.
So, yeah, I didn't go to the first one.
I didn't either.
I went to the last one, and I went to this one.
Yeah, we had a booth at both of them.
Yeah.
Both great.
And I felt like the traffic flowed really well. I don't know. I just felt like I got a lot done in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So the next shows, what's coming up next for you?
I think probably MJ Biz. I don't know. I'm
December.
kind of burned out on that show. I've been to all of them, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess I got to go and party. I mean, that's all I do there, and see people.
It's a network. It's a net.
Whoa! What was that?
What happened there? Whoa! I feel like my other ear came on.
Yeah, so that's why I can fucking hear myself now.
Whoa, look at the spike we had.
Jesus. You got to edit that out.
No, that's weird. What happened?
It's your faulty fucking wires.
No, there you go, dude. No, so it doesn't matter how it's the mics are different than the earphones.
Oh, okay,
And I
cool.
think
So
whatever-
this is going to be okay? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna- all
Yeah.
right.
I can see the sound coming through. But dude, I can hear you so much
I know.
better.
That's what I thought I was like having issues because we just smoked a bunch of weed.
I know
But
we
no,
did.
I'm
But it
not.
wasn't. No, it wasn't our fault. It was truly
weed makes it better.
It was truly a technological error.
Yeah.
So really, MJ Biz. Let's well, before we go there, I think let's talk about the other things that you're or have done in the space. You had a pet CBD.
I still do.
Oh, I thought you were getting rid of that. I thought you were selling that.
I haven't sold it yet.
Oh,
What the fuck? Bro?
sorry, bro. We can cut that out.
No, that's all right. Don't. It's fine. Yeah. Purity Petables.
Big market, bro.
Yeah, huge market. So I while I was working on my licensing,
Right.
with Hollister and the state and all that shit, it was kind of a little bit of it, kind of a minute where
12 months.
I had some time to think about some shit. So I was making CBD in my kitchen for my dog, Dave, and it just helped him. So, it just really changed his life. And being how I am, I wanted to make a product and get it out there and help as many pets as I can. Mainly dogs. I'm not a big fan of cats, but hey,
But
it
it's
works
funny,
for
I feel like
cats too. So
I feel like cats have less arthritic issues than dogs do.
Yeah.
And so you just did a yoga move right there.
Okay.
I give my dog, I have a little chihuahua, and she jumps and she shouldn't be jumping, and she's had a couple hernia surgeries.
Oh
and
shit! Yeah, perfect candidate for.
Yeah, because she's like freaking launching herself off of
hernia.
things that are like 10 times taller than what she is. But
Yeah, I don't think I have any on me.
like, dude, she just like it. She likes the treats. Like, it's funny how dogs will see certain things. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm fucking with you.
You fucking with- It's like.
There you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
It's a little better.
Yeah. Okay.
But she loves it. She
Why
like
did it take you that long to
I
get
don't
to
know,
that
because
point?
I'm really high. It won't affect the end product. It
Okay.
just affects what we're hearing. But she dogs won't eat anything you give them. Like, they're very specific. But like, I break out that CBD treat every time, and they know, and it totally keeps her.
Do you still have some?
I do. I've ordered some.
What for me?
I don't think so.
What
My
the
wife
fuck?
did it. I don't know, dude.
How dare you?
My wife gets it from the there's a dog store out by our house, Aptos Feed,
Okay.
and she's come home with pet. But I'll get some from you. I don't know, dude. I don't control that part of my life.
No.
Do you have that control at home?
Right now, I mean, my own stuff that I do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do my own stuff.
And then she
but
does her own stuff too.
if you have kids, they're a little older though.
Yeah, my kids are grown.
Yeah.
You know, they're
So my life's still
20
a little structured. Still.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no.
Here's what
dude.
we're having for dinner. Here's what's for breakfast.
Well,
like,
plus, I was a single dad. Got divorced when my kids were 5 and 3, and I raised them myself. Mainly for like 5-6 years.
that's rough.
It was actually I wouldn't trade it for anything else because
Did you have them full time?
oh fuck yeah
Oh wow,
yeah
that is gnarly.
I wouldn't trade that though. Yeah, so check this out. So I've always had my own business. So I moved to San Diego. This is 2002, and within like 6 months, I was a single dad, which was it was the third best thing that had happened to me up until that point, besides my 2 boys being born. So it was good.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it wasn't like things were crazy or anything. It was just, I was like, oh shit. Now, raised them for like 5 years. And then the mom came back in the picture, worked shit out, and we were 50-50, which was great. I had my kids half the time, and then I can go do other shit half the time and actually plan it,
Yep.
because it was a structured one, So that was great. And then Yeah, so my kids, sorry, I kind of spaced out on that for a second.
No, dude, that's deep shit.
Yeah.
I also was a single dad for probably about 8 years. Still dated, but just didn't incorporate anybody into my life, And so and mine was 50-50, but at a certain point, he became old enough where he could make decisions on where he wanted to stay, and we kind of acknowledged that and let it happen to a point,
Yeah.
But I feel like as a single parent, it's really weird. People talk down on it or like it's not the best thing in the world, but you focus so much more on the kids when you have them. Like I feel like when you have kids every day with you, you start taking it for granted. You don't go to the soccer practices. You don't.
I didn't do that.
You don't fight into things, but you because you had them every day, full time.
I went to everything.
Yeah, but not everybody does.
Oh no. Yeah,
but not everybody does. A lot of people just drop off kids, and like
I've the opposite of.
I've coached Little League, and like people just drop their kids off. I have to wait till 40
crazy.
minutes afterwards for them to come pick them up. So.
Yeah.
But I felt like as a single dad, I put more effort into focusing on being a major part of that child's life. And so now with we've been married for 13 years, I think. I still kind of focus and put that effort into my kid, even though I have him every day. This is a rare one where I'm not home.
Yeah.
Or not, traveling, where I'm not like chilling with them. So it's like, appreciate your kids. Like it's like you said, it's like the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, I pretty much up until recently, I was at everything.
That's the way it should be.
Their entire life.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. For both of them, it kind of sucked for my younger son because I would force him to go. Like if my older son was going to a birthday party, well, your brother's got to come with you.
Oh my gosh, so gnarly.
I know, but I had no option,
Yeah.
and I'm going or
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, true that, because you've got to go with the kid.
Yeah, I mean
the other one's not going to stay home.
Yeah, there was no one there. Like I moved to California with zero family.
Wow.
Just a friend, business partner that ended up blowing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blowing up in a bad way?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's sorry about that.
Yeah, shit happens.
So on having kids, like it's always a hot topic around when do they know that you smoke weed?
Yeah, so
and you're not puffing hash bones in front of your kid necessarily.
Oh, now, yeah, of
well,
course.
Well, now he's 20 and 22.
Yeah, 20, 22. No,
because like when your kids were young enough to know you smoked weed, that was well before 64 and definitely in Prop 215, but
yeah, not that far. It was my oldest was graduating high school
when he knew you started smoking. When he knew you were smoking weed.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck. Did he believe in Santa Claus too? How did you pull that off?
Well,
you're a discreet smoker.
Well, here's how I did it.
Okay.
I
take notes, everyone.
I don't really drink. Okay. So they never really saw me drink.
Okay.
Maybe 4 times in their entire life. And I wouldn't smoke weed until I put them to bed. So all my shit was done. I was, past tense, a disciplined cannabis smoker.
Right.
I wouldn't be high around them. And then as I got older, edibles were pretty good.
But like really 18 for your youngest one?
Yeah. I remember.
Your oldest one knew before that though, right?
No. It was him. The oldest one, the younger one knew younger because the older one knew.
Gotcha.
Automatically,
yeah, it's a default.
He's ahead of the game.
So 18 and 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it floored him. Absolutely floored him. He couldn't believe it. And then I was like, well, hey, if you think that's something, check this out. And I kind of laid out the business plan.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's always interesting. Like, listen, drugs are not for everybody.
Yeah, no.
And but if you do them properly, you're okay. You just have to kind of keep them in check sometimes.
Well, honestly, I'm against, coke and all that other shit, coke, crack, heroin, all that other stuff. I'm highly against all that. If it's
Mushrooms.
If it's in my presence, that either needs to go or I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be this. It's no big deal. Hey, if someone wants to do that, cool.
Yeah. Not your program.
I'm just gonna bounce.
And that's there is a lot of that flowing through the space.
Yeah, which fuck, dude, it blew my mind. I had no. I mean, I guess it's everywhere, right?
But it's really heavy in this space.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I've seen some weird shit. That's.
And everybody used to think like, oh, weed's a gateway, but it's not. I don't feel like weed's a gateway.
No.
No,
I mean, people are the one that. I mean, I did drugs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I chose to. Weed didn't make me do it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. But people will always say that weed's some sort of gateway. So that goes back to kids, right? So your kids didn't know till 18 or 16.
Right.
And then they were floored by it.
Yeah. Totally floored by it.
That was like, 5 years ago? So did they have the DARE program still? No, they weren't still doing DARE through school.
No.
My oldest boy, when he found out I
so.
was smoking weed, he was like, I might as well have been Satan because the school was teaching him the DARE stuff and
The Reagan shit.
Yeah, and I owned a surf shop.
Yeah.
It's like we smoked weed every day, dude. It was not anything that was uncommon, and he just happened to catch me, and I tried to play it off like, oh, I'm a dragon. It's dragon smoke, But eventually I had to kind of come to terms with it, and just explain to him, like, this is what, so we're doing. And he had epilepsy, oddly enough. And so by like 15, 16, he had kind of started smoking weed himself.
Yeah.
Which I feel kind of helped his epilepsy. Now it's kind of not really happening anymore for him.
I would agree with that. I know, like me personally, I don't take any drugs whatsoever. And I think cannabis keeps you pretty even with shit.
And I think it keeps you astute. And I think if like you don't completely burn out, like where you're just smoking endlessly all day long and just go into another dimension, I think it really does kind of keep you focused in some fashion. Like it does for me anyways. Like I see, and it keeps me young. Like I feel like I'm a little more young because I smoke weed.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's what it's been all my life is why I look younger than I am because I smoke weed.
Well, it's true.
That's it.
It's true. I think
Plus, we don't smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes will age you pretty quickly.
Cigarettes age you pretty quick. Alcohol does as well. But it's like as long as I feel like weed, you should be able to get whatever you need from weed for the most part.
Pretty close.
And if you're not, then you got to figure it out.
Weed in your diet.
Yeah.
The people's diets.
Do you get the munchies at all?
Oh, dude. On the backside of an edible is my problem. That's my challenge.
What do you do? Do you just turn it?
It's like I don't know if I can say it on the radio on this podcast. No. I just fucking eat.
Do you just Tasmanian devil the fridge and the cupboards?
Well, yeah, and like we typically only have like good shit. Like there's that like low fat
shoving
ice cream
granola in your mouth.
I have done that. But dude, I used to be 325 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are you now?
Oh shit, I'm 235.
Oh, that's good.
Nah, I used to be then I got down to 196. And
is it all diet related for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Diet. And,
so no edibles at the end of the day.
And diet and exercise.
Yeah.
That's really the key. I mean, that.
Yeah, but so no edibles at night for you because otherwise you just.
Fridays.
You do them on Fridays?
Edible Fridays.
Every Friday.
Pretty much.
And then on the downside of that, you just mow food.
I do my best not to.
But you do.
Yeah, well, I try to have some low-fat shit so I can eat a little bit extra, and it's I don't.
You know what my go-to's been?
What?
Dude, it's so fucked up, but
like Twinkies or something.
No, dude, because that's like I'm the same, dude. If I don't necessarily do edibles, but if I do a bong hit at night, the next thing you know, I'm fucking plowing through chips and cereal and. My wife's just like, really? It comes this looks like a fucking yard sale of bowls and quesadillas. And like, no, I've been eating like shelled sunflower seeds. So like they come in a pack like for salads. They're like a big pack at Trader Joe's, and I just fucking.
Were we talking about that at the party? With
maybe.
My wife?
Possibly, yeah. I just fucking eat the sunflower seeds, and then
she makes a hummus out of those.
out of like, I'll probably eat like 3 or 4 handfuls, drink a soda water, boom,
It'll probably blow up in your stomach.
done. Like I don't have any problems wanting to eat more. But the problem is like I think we, for whatever reason, our bodies are stressing and like,
What the fuck did you just do again?
I don't know what happened right
There
there.
you go. Better upgrade some shit.
Don't take pic. There it is. It's back. It's back. So the Megabone is next. What's after Megabone? What else you got? What else you got in your pipe? 1-to-1s.
Yeah. Well, you had asked me maybe 10 minutes ago, like products and shit like that, right? So I like to make products that I like to use.
Right.
And
So
that may not be the best way to pick a market, but I mean, that's just I'm able to do that, So we'll have other products that, for other market segments, but I just
So what's next?
yeah. So what's next is
You got the Megabone.
we've been working on this stuff called Nano Pure, and it's nano encapsulated stuff, and I'm gonna develop a spray.
Oh, so people can just spray them
Yeah,
off.
yeah, because I've been I'm kind of tired of smoking. You can hear my voice is a
Raspy.
little raspy. Might be a little sexy raspy, but
It is kind of sexy
yeah.
raspy.
But yeah, it's I would rather a 2.5 milligram spray,
Uh-huh.
kind of microdose, and then if I want to do 20 sprays and have a party, I can.
And is it hard to do something like that?
Yeah, it's the formula to get it right, taste, the delivery,
And then like,
all that shit.
and what is it? The base is oil.
No,
What's the base? Like how? What are you
it's
extracted THC?
it's a secret.
Okay, fuck. Like, so you're doing some secret shit. Turns it into a mist. How many mists? Like do
One pump is 2.5 milligrams.
Okay, and then the
of
bottle is like
THC.
what? 20 milligram bottle or 25 milligram bottle?
Still working on the different
volume?
sizes. I'd like to have 1,000 milligram bottle, and you can with
Edibles,
with tinctures,
tinctures.
not with edibles.
Yeah, edibles. It's 100, right?
Yeah, it's 100 milligrams, and then 10 milligram doses.
Right. I was surprised in the chocolate report tonight. Though it's kind of been trending down.
But that data is kind of skewed for several reasons. One, other states allow hemp
Right.
to be in the supply chain.
Right.
Okay, so that would dramatically change things here.
Why is California barring that or like making it like where you can go buy the shit at a fucking liquor store or a gas station, but you can't buy it in a dispensary where it's regulated and tested?
Or I can't use the same, not the same, but a hemp derived version as an ingredient. Can't do that either. And I can't even process it in the same building
Why?
because
How do we change that?
I think they're going to work on it. You know what I mean? It may change at some point. Hollister just passed an ordinance actually regulating hemp as cannabis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that means that I can do it in.
Oh, so that's a good thing.
Well, no, because then they're taxing it the same as cannabis. So I'm not going to do that.
Right. 7% there, right?
5.
Oh, it dropped.
No, it's $7 a square foot for cultivation and
got it.
5% gross sales
5%.
for pretty much everything else.
That's pretty steep, though. Stop moving around.
What the fuck? Am I supposed to be like a robot?
Yeah. That's still 5%'s tough.
Yeah, it's the cost of doing business. Hey, but not on hemp. I mean, it's not the same.
Right,
It's not the
right.
same commodity. It's just not. And I refuse to do that. So I'll be working to get that change there, or I will be doing that in a different location
Elsewhere.
Yeah, but we will be doing it. We're
Inevitably.
yeah. No, it's already in progress. The fuck, man.
I don't know, dude. It's like
Dude,
weird.
I'm gonna throw these headphones.
It's like hot. It's like haunted or something. There's something happening. So as we wrap this up, because believe it or not, we're at 50 minutes, which
wow.
is fucking pretty quick.
Yeah, it is pretty quick. I can do this for a couple of hours.
I know, right? It's fun.
yeah.
Speaking of fun, you're launching a podcast.
Yes,
What is it called?
it's called the Hustler Sesh.
Yes.
It's where we actually smoke out
Right.
You know, and then talk about the industry, kind of like this, right?
Right.
You know, but we're going to get realer on the Hustler Sesh, not just. No, just joking.
More real.
Yeah, more real.
We're gonna get deeper,
We're
bro.
gonna get deeper, bro.
Well,
we're gonna get the real
the
shit.
thing is that you and I have these, like, the thing I like about hanging out with you is, like, we have these intellectual conversations about this space. We kind of nerd out a little bit on what's, like, happening, where it's going, what people should be doing, and it's an endless progression of that. So realistically, like, there's so much to talk about so frequently that you can just keep, like, it's
Yeah.
the fodder for the content is almost like never ending.
No, but back to that, it's it's called the Hustler Sesh. Yeah. And it's just interviewing other cannabis rock stars like you.
Thank you. You're a bigger rock star than me.
No,
but
no,
are we
no,
doing the? Are we smoking a hash bone during that thing?
Yes. Well, if you're with me, yes. If you're
On
home,
the phone?
it's whatever you got.
Yeah,
But I will be smoking hash bone.
Is it required to smoke before you talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not going to sesh with me, then
We can't talk.
well, it's not. It's called the Hustler Sesh.
Yeah, no, I like it. I love your logo, by the way.
Thank you. It's cool.
We talked about that before we got on. And it's one of those things that, like, it fits. Like, I'm excited for that to come out.
Yeah,
You're going to get some heads, dude. You have some fucking heads that will come on that thing.
I want to get Mike Tyson on.
Why wouldn't he do it?
I mean, think of so.
I'd be afraid to smoke weed without you.
I
mean,
would
I'm
love,
not. I don't want to be
love to
afraid.
smoke weed. I would love to smoke a hash
I'd be
bone
intimidated
with Mike
with
Tyson.
them, yeah.
I know that I'll meet him.
Sure.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I
Why wouldn't you meet him?
I think I can manifest things.
100%.
With intention.
Yep.
And action.
Do you? So I know
Action is actually the missing.
we can go a little
ingredient
longer. So here's the deal.
And
Do
a bunch
you?
of stuff.
So I'm so weird about manifestation that, like, I will acknowledge the worst that can happen, but then it gets kicked out of my head because I feel like if it even occupies any real estate in my head, it could potentially manifest what I don't want to have happen. So I try to focus on only what I want to have happen, and I'll even speak to it to the point where sometimes it annoys people. Like, when some people would be annoyed to hear you say, I'm going to meet Mike Tyson. They're like, sure you are. Right. But, like, if you truly manifest shit, it will happen. I 100% believe it.
Yeah. See, when people like act like that, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm
I feel sorry for him.
No, like, fuck you. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of just how I was born that way.
Because if you want to get something done, I'm going to get it done, And so that's another thing I really love about you. You're like, I'm going to do this, like, man of action.
Yeah.
Like, it's really important for to be a man of action.
Again, that's the missing ingredient. Like, if you watch The Secret, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was all about positive intention and affirmations and all this stuff, which they're all great.
Yeah.
And they all work. You actually need them. Yeah. I mean, I have them. But without tying action to that, it doesn't happen. You got to do.
Yep.
You have to. You have to put your foot in front of your other foot, get beat up, get back up, put your foot in front of your other foot.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Get beat up, get up. Yeah. I mean, you just got to do.
One of the things that I always, and we'll wrap after this, but one of the things I always struggled with was, like, thinking that somebody was going to work as hard as I would, and not even like hard, just with as much passion that I would. Like, anything I do like 110%.
Amasa works as hard as I do.
Well,
she's fucking.
And I would have to say my wife in her own vein works, but that's having a great partner.
Oh, she's amazing.
But most people don't have that.
No. I went through some hell to get here.
But you learned.
Oh yeah, I learned. I've got the scars from crawling on broken glass.
Yeah. But the cannabis space saved you. So,
yeah, sorry.
Hash bones. Let's turn it positive, Carl.
Yeah.
Hash bones available in your local dispensary. If it's not in your local dispensary, is there a website they can go look at to find?
Yeah, so hollistercannabisco.com.
Okay.
And there's a store locator on there.
And then what about Instagram for that?
Instagram is at Hollister Cannabis Co.
Okay, and then
follow us on Instagram. It'd be awesome.
Right, we will push that, and then when we put this out, and then you're doing the podcast called
The Hustler Sesh.
Right,
coming soon.
Nice.
Yeah. And, we also have our Purity Pedibles pet tincture in dispensaries as well. That's a 20-1.
whoa.
That's a whole other thing we can talk about
Yeah.
later,
And that's puritypedibles.com.
No. That's still Hollister Cannabis Co.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a cannabis-derived CBD
Got it.
version. We have a hemp
And it works,
version.
people, for your dog or your cats.
It's amazing.
I know. Don't say that, bro. I have a cat. I love my cat.
All right.
But cats are less prone to the bullshit that dogs get, for sure. Like, dogs get way more broken up.
Yeah, that's not why, but...
Well, I'm just saying dogs are usually more fucked up than cats. All right, dude.
I'm probably alienating a bunch of people right now.
Who cares?
Pissing off the cat people. I'm only joking.
So
it works for them, too.
Really appreciate you coming through, bro.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate
you know what I look forward to is doing the Hustler Sesh.
Yeah.
And just doing it back and forth and, sharing guests and... Dude, it's a fun... it's therapeutic.
Are you going to come to Hollister?
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I come over there all the time. Just you're never there.
Okay, well.
It's hot as hell over there.
Yeah, it was 105 yesterday.
Jesus Christ. All right, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
That's a wrap. Thank you for listening to this edition of Cannabis Karaoke, another kick-ass podcast about all things cannabis. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and our website, cannabiskaraoke.tv. And if you or someone you know would like to be on the show, please hit the book your interview button on the right. Cannabis Karaoke. Grab the mic and tell your story. Wow.